All right, so let's take some time now to talk about sound direction and how that differs from art direction. Basically, you're going to follow the same 4-step process. You're going to form an opinion, find and collect inspirations, cut what doesn't work, and own the result. The differences are that music and sound effects are actually different processes, usually, sometimes with different people working on them. So music composition usually happens with, one person or a couple of people. Music recording can be like another sort of split in there. If you're recording with live instruments, that's not that common, especially in indie games, but it does happen. And then sound creation, so like doing Foley and actually figuring out what the sound effects are going to be. That's a separate process that a sound designer would do. And then there's like implementation, which is sometimes also done by a different team, like a more technical sound team, or by the programmer. It depends on the process and the team. So because music and sound effect are a little bit different, you need to focus on both when you're doing your direction for them. So don't forget about sound effects. They add 1000% more polish to your game. They make your game go from like a little jam game that isn't really that, interesting or stand out to something that really looks like a real product. So remember, game music is often the only part of the experience that players will revisit after they're finished playing. They may go back and listen to the soundtrack. They might not replay the game. So make that worth it for people. So for music, keep notes on anything you hear that fits the auditory aesthetic that you want. Spotify, YouTube, and 8Tracks are all good tools for this as they allow playlist creation. As a bonus, listen to your playlist when you want to get fired up about making stuff, which, really helps you get in the mood to work on your game. And for sound effects, listen for interesting sounds when watching or playing other things. Try to find video clips and save them for later. You can save short video on console and PC. You can find clips with YouTube, or you can even record stuff with your phone. There are also sound libraries that might have good sound effects that you want to use, and I have seen students use those in the past, and that's perfectly reasonable as well. You could just troll through different free sound libraries and find stuff that's close to what you're looking for. At the very least, if you do end up, getting an actual sound person to work with you later, they can beef that up or work with it. So these references are really valuable to people who work in audio. It's much easier for them to work with references than to try to decipher your description of like a cool sound you heard or a song you heard. They just want to listen to it themselves, if possible.